Dialectics according to the young Hegelians and Marx. In another video, I presented the concept of dialectics according to Hegel. In this video, we shall see how the young Hegelians applied dialectics in political and religious criticism and how Marx criticized the young Hegelians and applied dialectics in the realm of human practice. Hegel illustrated how dialectics as the synthesis of opposites works in philosophy, culture, religion, and socio-political institutions that later divided his followers into rightists and leftists. The right Hegelians defended Hegel's admiration of the autocratic Prussian state as the culmination of spirit and the German church as the complete realization of manifestation of God. They were considered as the embodiment of rational system and therefore beyond criticism and change. Dialectical dynamics of spirit was institutionalized in the static state and religion. The left Hegelians, who were popularly known as Hegelians, claimed that the dialectics was a continuous process creating space for criticism and revolutionary action. Once the reason is bound by the obsolete real, the reason has to break the fetters and show the path of liberation. History is the progressive realization of freedom. Criticism is the declaration of freedom against the irrational dictates of earthly rulers and heavenly authority. The concept of dialectics made profound influence on Marx and Engels, and they were fascinated by the young Hegelian radical criticism of religion. Later they rejected the young Hegelian criticism as ideologies and shaped the materialist conception of history in the Holy Family and in the German ideology. Most of the young Hegelians were actually materialists. Yet, Marx and Engels disapproved the young Hegelian discourse on the liberation of the oppressed and the exploited as idealism, or thought derived from thought and not from the material living conditions of the oppressed and the exploited. Against the idealist conception of history, they developed the materialist conception of history. Materialism is historical because human interaction with the raw materials is the source of human development and history. Human intervention in nature is innovative, changes the past, and makes a future. On the contrary, mechanical materialism upholds motion of matter as a predetermined and repetitive. Like French materialists, the young Hegelians imitated mechanical materialism of the physical science and advocated a metaphysics of nature. Their botheration was to prove matter as the source of the universe and life, and the material universe functions universally in a uniform and predictable manner. Marx and Engels speak of matter of human practice and not of matter of nature. Materialist conception of human development is not teleological. There is no inherent purpose in the process but driven by human interests and activities. Human history is the history of survival. For the immediate survival, humans have to produce, and for the continuity of humanity, humans have to reproduce. Production is a process of dialectical interaction occurring between humans and raw materials. The first event in the human history occurred when humans used tools for collecting food. Radical shift in the production process revolutionized society and created history. Human metabolism causes humans to work and eat for their survival. Therefore, basic needs for survival are to be fulfilled before satisfying other wants. Capitalism is full of contradictions. The capitalist society is divided between owners of means of production and losers of means of production, between buyers of labor and sellers of labor. There is acute scarcity in the midst of abundance. Hardship reducing technologies increase misery of the workers and also eliminate labor intensive technologies and create unemployment. According to Engels, the second discovery of Marx was the theory of surplus value. Under capitalism, the surplus or profit of capitalist is produced by the surplus work appropriated from workers above the time they needed to work for their survival. And alas, the more the workers produce, the more they are alienated from the production process. Workers who produce for all without getting reward are to be prepared to work for the liberation of all. It is a process of resolving the capitalist contradictions and build classless society on the resources of capitalism. Under communism, excess work is demanded, but to fulfill the needs of all and not profit or pleasure of a few. Marx and Engels devised dialectics as a method of knowing, perceived it in history and nature, and proposed it as a transformative force. Engels tried to generalize the dialectics of materialist conception of history with illustrations from the dialectics of nature. It initiated metaphysical discussion that culminated in the formulation of dialectical materialism as its theory. Many Marxists began to understand materialism ontologically and history as predetermined. They believed automatic conversion of capitalism into communism. Thank you.